morning, everyone. Welcome back to the garden. We're going to do a mini tour this morning. It's a very cool, windy morning. So we're going to do a short mini tour. These two containers that you're seeing here, we have some string beans in them. They're growing very nicely. Hopefully, well, the weather is kind of not so hot these days. So hopefully they will survive and we can get a good harvest from them. In this container, we have a tiny Tom Martin, I don't remember the exact name, tomato. And there's a seedling popping up. I'm not sure what this is. So we wait and see what this is. And here's another one. And sandwiched between these two containers, we have a marigold. Okay, here's a bell pepper plant. It was in the ground and I transplanted it in the container with the small fruit. And for 1 or 2 days, it was getting transplant shock and the fruit wasn't growing. But after much care, the fruit is now growing bigger and the plant is actually looking better than what it did before. So I took a risk and it worked out. And this is what is happening now. Right, so you can transplant your plants that are fruiting and see if you'll get the same result. Well, this was a success one. So you can do it at your own risk if you like. Here we have 2 tomato plants in this water bottle with some scanning at the base. We're starting to see some little buds coming on the tomato plants. So hopefully the blossoms will not dry up. I'm not sure what was happening with the other tomato plant, but it was just blossoming and blossoming and the blossoms will be drying up. The time is not so hot, so I'm not sure what was happening with that plant. You still have that plant though, it's still blossoming and it's still drying up. Blossoms are still drying up, but we leave the plant nevertheless. I think these 2 plants are aroma tomato plants, right, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we get some fruits from them. This is our papaya tree. Something is happening with it. The leaves are yellowing and getting brown. I'm not sure what is the issue, but we did fertilize. The fruits are still growing, and because of the wind and the breeze and the amount of wind that we're getting, we have lost a fruit. So there's a fruit there. And the other fruits are getting bigger. Hopefully we can get some ripe fruits shortly. So if you know how to fix the yellowing and browning of the leaves, please assist us in the comments because we like to treat the issues. This is one other papaya tree. It's doing much better. These are greener, well, these are also younger and greener. Hopefully this is a female plant and not a male plant. So we're looking forward to getting fruit from this papaya tree about next year. At the base of the papaya tree, we have some young seedlings coming up. Not remembering the different seedlings, but I see some lettuces right here. I think these are probably radishes over here. This is a red cabbage and there's a bit of leaf minor on the leaves. This is a seedling. I'm not sure if this is a cucumber or what, but don't recall planting the seed. So we'll see what this is. This is a scallion. Here we have a Scotch bonnet pepper plant. More lettuces. here. Over here we have a cabbage full of leaf miners. We have to get rid of these leaves. I think this is a citrus plant. Not sure if it's a lime or lemon. This is a young okra plant. Let me get this leaf off. Right. And here is another one. Just taking off the bad leaves. And at the base we have some more seedlings. These look like baby chow. And this looks like some beetroot going on here. Right. Okay, over this bed we have corns, and at the base of the corn we have some roselle or sorrel seedlings. So we have 3 corn plants coming up, and on this side we harvested the canes and we replanted, and that's a young shoot popping up. So this section was the cane, and it still is. Over here in this bed we have some carrots coming up. Sorry. And we have some young sweet pepper plants. There's one sweet pepper plant. There's another one. This one was affected by the heavy rains that we got, so we'll have to replant this one. And here is the other one, and in among them we have the carrot seedlings popping up. Hope you're seeing them. Those are the carrot seedlings. In this bed we have some tomatoes, Roma, and probably some yellow pear tomatoes, not remembering now. And we have a marigold here and one other marigold here, and at the base of the tomato plants we have some seedlings. I think these are baby chow again. I'm going to use these as microgreens so they won't develop that big. Just using them as microgreens because there's not enough space for them to grow to their fullest potential. But everything is looking good so far in this bed. Over here in a small section we have callaloo or amaranth. We transplanted it here, and behind it we have a tomato plant. Beside that small bed we have this other bed. We have a sweet banana pepper here. There was one here, but the rain got to it, the heavy rains. And there's another one here, but it has one leaf now. I think the heavy rains beat off some of the leaves of this sweet banana pepper plant, but this one is growing up nicely. And at the front of the plants we have some cabbages, and I think these are Dutch cabbages, so they should fold pretty early, between 55 to 65 days. And we have some leaf miners on them, so I'm just gonna get rid of these leaves. This one here, so the leaf manners doesn't spread to the other leaves. You have to come out here every morning and inspect your plants to see what is happening with them, so you can properly care for them. All right, over here in this bed, we have some hot pepper plants, kochi. This one is thriving and it has some white flies, so I will have to probably dust flour on them. I heard that you can do that as well to get rid of the white flies. So I'm gonna dust some flour on the leaves. And over that side we have one other one. And here this is a sweet banana pepper. This other one is not looking too good. Let me just pick off these leaves so it can branch out and grow newer leaves. This is a tomato plant. Again, it has a leaf miner here. So let me take that off. Here we have a tiny tim tomato plant. It grows very small. And here's another one, tiny tim. And this is another pepper plant. Take off some of the bad leaves. Alright, so this is it for this bed. In that container that you're looking at, we have a squash plant. That's a butternut squash. And we're aiming to trellis it on this spring. This was a part of a mattress, so we're aiming to trellis it on this. Alright, so there are 4 beds here. We have our cabbages growing. I need to clean up the base of those cabbages because we have some bad leaves going on. So we need to clean up the base of these cabbages. And in this bed, next to the cabbage bed, we have marigold plants. This is another cabbage. It is a Chinese cabbage. And this other one here as well. And we have a kale plant here. Another kale plant here. This kale plant is struggling. We have a celery here. Kale plant. That kale plant is struggling. And this is, I think, a tomato plant coming up. It was directly sowed. And this is a purple basil. Another marigold plant over here. And we have some beans to add some nitrogen. This is a very fruitful sweet pepper plant. It has about at least 12 buds on it, so I'm gonna get a lot of fruits from this. But we have been harvesting from this plant, and look how tall it is. It's very tall. Alright, in this bed we have 2 corn plants along with a marigold. And this is a struggling cucumber plant. It has fruits, but it's struggling a bit. So we need to add some more stuff to this bed. And this is our callaloo plant or amaranth with a basil plant. This is holy basil. And this is a tomato plant here. Another amaranth here. And let's go in the cabbage bed. They are folding, but as I said before, Need to clean up the base of the cabbage plants because we have some bad leaves at the base, so we need to clean that up, and some aphids along there too. All right, this is a okra plant that I removed all the leaves from, and it is growing new leaves right there. And this is looks like a young amaranth growing up. And here we have some lettuces in a container, and these lettuces in these containers. This is a big scotchy plant, Scotch bonnet pepper. It has some fruit on it. So this plant is very massive and it's producing. Here we have a tomato plant in this container, not sure of the name of it. We have carrots here in these two pots. Another tomato plant. And this is another tomato plant with marigolds at the base and lettuce plant at the base. Over here, we have a lettuce plant here at the base. And this is the tomato plant I was referring to earlier. It produces blossoms, but the blossoms are just drying up. I'm not sure if this is the oxheart tomato plant, but it has fresh blossoms on it, but the blossoms keep on drying up. For what reason, I don't know. In this other container, we have a tomato plant, and this container there's a dill plant in here, and over here we have rosemary, one other scotchy plant. These are yellowing, so I'll have to trim them back a bit, just like I did for this one. I trimmed this back. This is a smaller one beside a bigger scotchy plant. I trimmed back the leaves on this one, massive trim. And there's a fruit on this one. In these two containers contained beans. Well, they still have the bean plants in it. So we'll have to revamp these two containers. Over here, there's another Chinese cabbage growing in this container. And in these three pots, we have pepino plants. It's supposed to be a fruit. Hopefully we get some fruit from these plants. And this is a sweet pepper plant. It has one sweet pepper on it, and it's also producing more buds. Over here we have another scotchy plant with lots of buds on it, and we have harvested from this plant too. Here is another sweet pepper plant, and we have harvested from this one as well, and it's producing more buds. This is another holy basil going to seed. This is another citrus plant in a pot. Here is another tomato plant and another marigold plant. And yes, we have a lot of tomato plants because we love tomatoes. So hopefully we can get a lot of fruits. And these are mostly Roma tomato plants. Okay, in this bed we have some beans, mug beans, and we have a tomato plant here again. Needs to be trellised. And we have, this is a lettuce, this is a kale, and this is another kale plant, red lettuce here, and another lettuce here. This is the other lettuce. What is this? Oh, this looks like a zinnia. So we have zinnia over here. We didn't plant this. So the seed got into this bed, and now we're having a free plant. Okay. Alright, right. So we've seen a lot of stuff popping up. A lot of seedlings. Another seedling here. So probably there are more zinnias coming up. And I see a lot of callaloo seedlings as well. Callaloo seedlings are all over the place. And that is what is expected from the callaloo plant. Once it goes to seed, you have callaloo popping up everywhere in your bed. Okay, this was our trap crop and amaranth. So we cut back the leaves so it's no longer a trap crop and it's producing leaves now. So we can start eating from this. And at the base of it, we have a baby chow and some weeds. And we have two couple seedlings, squash bonnet pepper seedlings. Over here in this container, we have sweet pepper plant, and it has produced before and it's now producing again. And here it is. Not sure of the name of this sweet pepper, but here's a fruit. Oh, there's another baby fruit coming up. Here, I need to bag these. Oh, there's another one here. Need to bag this one as well, because if we don't, the creatures will get to them. So this is another one here. This is one again, and it's bagged. And here is another one also in a bag. There are two fruits on this plant that need to go in a bag. Oh, and here's one other one. So we have four of them in a bag. And we need to put the other two in bags. Alright, I'm going to bag them. Alright, I've bagged those two, but there are some smaller ones on it, about four more. We'll bag those when they get bigger. If you can see them. Yeah, there's a small one. And there are about two or three more on it that are very small. So as soon as they get bigger, we'll put bags on them. Alright, so this it was struggling. And when I said struggling, it was actually struggling, and we just cut back all the leaves from off it. And this is our second harvest of fruits. Well, we're not harvesting now, but it's our second fruiting, and it is producing a lot. Alright, so this is just saying not to give up on your plants. Just continue to care for them, give them the best love, fertilizer, and pray over them. And yeah, we'll get a lot of results, good results. So we're getting a lot of good results from this plant that was struggling from the get-go. All This was it's a scotchy plant that was struggling, and I cut back all the leaves, and new leaves are now forming. And as you can see, amaranth seedlings all over. Here we have our lemongrass or fever grass. Very lovely aroma. You can use it to make your teas. And in this container we have our chamomile plant. And over here we replanted our turmeric in this container. And as you can see, it is now filled with amaranth seedlings. And this is the issue we're having now. We have the callaloo or amaranth seedlings all over the place. In every container or bed you can think of, they are there. So pretty soon we probably can just pull them as microgreens so that the turmeric will be able to grow nicely. This is a turmeric coming up, popping out. It needs to be buried a bit deeper. Here we have another sweet pepper plant, and this branch broke off. Not sure what caused it, and it had a young bud on it. Just put it down there at the base. So I have compost in place. That's a fertilizer for it. Actually, there are more buds coming on. So, and here's another set. And there's a bean plant in it, in the same container. There's a mug bean as well. In this container we have 2 Roma tomato plants, and starting to produce some buds. They're both producing some buds, so hopefully we can get some tomatoes. Over in this container we have our scallions and also okra plant here. In this water bottle we have 2 more tomato plants along with a kale plant. And over in this blue drum we have a tomato plant as well. This is it. And at the base of the tomato plant we have a basil, purple leaf basil, and some scallions. I don't remember what else is in this bed. I direct sowed some. I'm not even sure what is in this bed, but when they pop up we'll see. And over here we have, this is in the ground, an okra plant. I cut back the leaves, but the leaves weren't getting diseased, so let's trim all leaves off, and it is producing more leaves. New growth. Here is another basil plant, and this one is a scotchy plant which is now growing nicely after a very massive haircut as well. And in these 2 containers here, this one has a basil, Genovese basil. It's not doing so well. And over this side we have a scotchy again. And most of our plants, as you can see, they are in containers. So yes, you can grow in containers. Over here we have our pineapple plant along with some lettuces. Just coming back to this bed because let me show you this pepper plant, and it's a hot pepper plant, and this is a different variety, and look how massive the fruits are. and these fruits will turn red. So we have quite a number of fruits on this plant. In our first harvest of this plant, we only had one fruit. Now we have lots and lots and lots and lots of fruits, and more buds are popping up on it. Okay, this was supposed to be a Swiss chard, but the heavy rains got to it. Hopefully it can come back to life. And here we have over the far section here on the basil plant. This is the green Genovese basil. And we have some lettuces in the bed. And another lettuce plant here at the base of the pepper plant. And towards the back side we have, that's a cabbage, small cabbage, and a tomato plant right there. Oh, and the sweet pepper plant is here. Oh, there's a fruit on it. Let me go and bag this. This one is very short. So we had to trim back the leaves and cut off most of the diseased leaves. Now it has a fruit on it, so I'm going to bag this one as well. Alright, I've bagged it off camera. So, some protection. Okay, I'm spotting some seedlings. Not sure what these are. We'll see what they are in a couple of days. This is another basil. So when we return, because we're going down to the country for our grandmother's funeral, so hopefully everything will be okay with the garden, because we will not be here to attend to it. So just praying that everything will go well with the garden. Okay, this pepper plant has a lot of buds. The same pepper plant I was telling you about. So the fruits will turn red. So there's these buds. Well, it has a lot of buds down here. Are you seeing them? There they are. And the fruits will be like this. And they will turn red. I have one more, well, I planted one more plant like this. And it's the same color. The fruits are the same color, but the fruits look completely different. They're more elongated and very twisted form. I'm not sure how to describe it, but they're more elongated and they're curly. I'm going to show you. Let me show you. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So this is, I'm pretty sure it was the same seed I planted from the same pepper that I got. And look at this. Not sure if you've seen it in the bag. Let me show you one that is not bagged. And this is what I'm talking about. Same color fruit, but it is elongated and has a curly texture. So these are when they are pretty young. And look how curly they are. So I'm not sure what is happening. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the seeds came from the same pepper that we got from one of our church sisters. Alright, beside this hot pepper plant, we have another scotchy. Not a scotchy, a sweet pepper plant, and it has a fruit on it. There's a fruit. And as you can see, we have been bagging our fruits because if we don't bag them, we're not going to get them. And it has another small one here. So as soon as this one gets bigger, we'll bag that one as well. At the base, we have the tomato plant here, one other one here, and this was where our pumpkin came from. And we have transplanted a butternut squash in the bed. Let's pick off this fruit here so the energy can go back to the root of the plant. Pick up the small fruit. And this leaf, something got to it, so let me just pick that off as well. I've transplanted, not transplanted, but from the pumpkin that we harvested, we saved the seeds and planted the seed last week, and it's coming up. Well, here it is. And this is another seed, and by the afternoon it will get bigger. And as you can see, callaloo all over the bed. What is this? These are not turmeric plants. They are in the turmeric family and they're supposed to produce some flower. I think it's a red flower they'll produce. So they look like turmeric plants, but they are not. They are not turmeric plants. Over here we have one other papaya plant. So it growing somewhere, and we transplanted it over here. Do you remember our eggplants? After we removed them from the previous container, they got transplant shock. So what I did was to cut off all the leaves off the plants, and now they're growing back and the leaves are growing pretty nicely. So hopefully it will fruit in a short while. Remember, they were blossoming, but the blossoms will be just dropping off. So hopefully everything will be fine with them. Alright, beside our papaya tree, forgot to show you what was in the bed next to it. And these are peanuts. So we have peanuts growing in this bed. And this is our wall garden. And we also have peanuts growing in this container. And this container, I think the blossoming indicates that they're ready to form their roots, I think. Alright, so we have 3 more cabbages along this wall. One is over there. One is here. The other one is here. We have a kind of a plant in a pot. These 2 containers are not empty. They have turmeric inside of them. And that over there is a struggling jalapeno plant. And here we have a scotchy with some carrots around it. One more scotchy marigold in this container. And we have direct sowed some kale. But I think I'm seeing the amaranth again popping up. This is another scotchy plant. This is a sweet pepper plant that is struggling. And this is a fennel. And things are not growing as fast now because the time is pretty cool. This is another scotchy. One more scotchy. There's a young fruit on this one. And here we have another fennel. Over here, this is another bed, so to speak. Not really a but container bed. Containers are sitting on an old stove, so you can use what you have to start your garden. So the containers are on the old stove. We have marigolds in this container. We have in this container mint. These leaves are bigger than what was there on it before. And these are cactus looking plants. And we have a lot of these cactus plants because this is the mother plant and produces these little ones at the outer edges, and these things just, I guess, they fly all over the place, and we have to be removing them and replanting them. All right, back to the stove bed. We have a lot of seedlings. That these are Scottish seedlings, a lot of them. So as soon as one of our plants die, or we can also easily replace the plants. So have more than one seedlings, so that if one plant dies, you can always replace. This is a kale plant. And over in this pot we have scallion. Over here we have another scotchy plant, and it has some buds. It's flowering, and there's a fruit on it. I'm not sure if you can see it. There it is. Over here we have our lemon balm. You can use it to make tea, and our celery plant. Alright, in this container down here, what I did was to cut off all the bad leaves from this upper plant, and it was way tall, and I cut off all the leaves that were damaged. Actually trim it back, massive haircut, and now the leaves are growing back, and now it is fruiting again. It's fruiting again. Some more buds over here. Alright, in this massive drum we have two tomato plants, and because of the weather that we have been having, hot and cold, you can see some of the leaves are not doing well, so I'll have to get rid of these leaves. I'm not seeing any buds on this one yet. And here's the other one. Not seeing any buds on this one as yet either. So hopefully we get some fruits of these two tomato plants. Alright, this is our June plum plant. It was getting a bit too tall, so I've trimmed it. And at the base of it we have a celery plant. So I've trimmed the June plum and put the stalk in another container. I'm not sure if it will root. Let me show you what I did. There it is. Water. is cloudy, so I'll have to change the water on this. Not sure again if it will root. It's just an experiment. And let's see what will happen. Alright, this is one other sweet pepper plant and it's producing some buds. And you can see that tiny. Let me bring it in focus. Focus. There you go. There's a tiny fruit and it has a lot of blossoms on it. Again, we have another citrus plant in this pot. Not sure if it's lemon or lime. Doesn't matter which one, as long as we get something from it. This container contained our cucumber plant, but as you can see, it got damaged, so we just have to replace this plant with something else. That's a part of gardening. We lose some plants along the way, we just have to replace. This is the turmeric-like plant. It's not turmeric. I don't remember the name of it, but as I said before, it's going to produce a red flower. And beside it, we have French thyme or oregano. And it seems as if this is what will be able to grow in this bed. But anything else that we put in this bed won't grow. But these two plants are thriving like crazy. And so we harvest from the French thyme. It grows and grows all over the place in this bed. So as long as it has some soil, it will root and keeps on growing. And yes, you can season your fish with it. It's very nice in steamed fish, as I said before in other videos. And I'm sure it will be pretty nice if you eat chicken and beef. Alright. Here we have our ginger plants in this container. And in this container, they're both grow bags. And it seems as if they're dying back. So we'll get to harvest them pretty soon. And as you can see the ginger. There it is. We have harvested from this grow bag, as you see before in a previous video. So this is the second grow bag. Beside it, we have another grow bag with scotchy. And let me get this one, because if I don't get it, something will just peck on it, and in the morning we'll see the result of that. So let me just pick that off. And I think I saw one other one that's turning. Let me pick that one off. So it has quite a number of fruits on it. A lot of fruit on this plant. Enough fruits on it. A lot of fruits on it. A lot of fruits. And scotchy. These peppers are so expensive now. In the Christmas season, the prices tend to go up. So we have a lot of plants. So we have a lot of scotchy plants, so we don't have to buy any hot pepper from the supermarket or the market. Beside it, we have celery in this container along with some scallion. And this is a weed. Let me pull it out. And an amaranth or callaloo. Oh, this pepper plant is producing a lot of peppers. And look, all over the place. All over. Alright, back. Let me bring it back to this bed. Alright, in this pot, a scallion. This grow bag is empty. I need to put some onions in this one. The marigold is here. And transplanted the cactus. Here's another one. And rosemary, trying to root These rosemary, so as soon as they root, we'll transplant them. I need to change the water. This one is looking a bit cloudy. Here we have an amaranth avocado in this container and a skeleton in this container. This is another cactus plant. It's spiky. Alright, so these two pipes contain, front pipe here contains lettuces. I'm gonna use them as microgreens. Some of them got a beating because of the rain, the heavy rain that we have been having. And in the other one towards the back, we have baby chow. We use them for microgreens as well. Alright, so you can plant in those pipes as well. And at the front there we have a marigold plant. Alright, let me take you in the greenhouse. And this is going to be a very long video, but it's worth it, right? Alright, so we need to clean up this greenhouse a bit. But don't mind that. We have some scallions in the pot. We had in front of the scallion some lettuces and something got to all of them. So we decided to plant the cactuses that were all over the place in the containers. And that is an okra plant that we'll have to transplant pretty soon. Right. In this container we have a tomato plant. I'm sure not seeing any buds on this one. It's looking lovely. Over here, this was a struggling scotchy plant. It has one fruit now. After much love, that's a fruit. This is a sweet pepper plant that wasn't doing so well. So I just cut all the leaves from off it, and it is producing new leaves. This needs to be weeded, and it's very dry, but it has a baby chow, bok chow in it. And this is a Chinese cabbage, not doing well. And this container contains another tomato plant. And this container, this is a sweet pepper plant. Again, I have to use the same method to remove all the leaves from off it because it was very diseased. The leaves were very diseased. And here we have a tomato plant, and this one has blossoms on it. So hopefully, quite a number of blossoms too. So hopefully we get from this. We just had to trellis it because of the wind that we have been getting. So the stone is at the base to support the iron trellis. And in this container, I've seen anything but I've planted a soda seed in it. I think it was a tomato seed rather. So hopefully that will pop up pretty soon. And alongside here we have some scallions and some weeds, so I need to clean this up. And at the bottom we have our organic fertilizers that we buy from Rada and Evergrow. So we need to clean up the base of this greenhouse so it can look presentable. So we'll do a cleanup of the greenhouse pretty soon and then do another tour mainly on the greenhouse. Okay, I'm going to end this video with a worm bin, trying to do a worm bin thingy. Hopefully it'll be successful. There were a lot of worms in this bin when I was transplanting some stuff in it. It's a container rather. Bean container, same thing. And because the worms weren't fed on a weekly basis, they all died. So when I searched, there were a lot of dead worms in it. And I know that they food. So we took out some of the dirt or soil from out of the pan and put them somewhere else. So the worm castings will be good for this particular bed that I put the soil in. And I put more vegetable matter in it from the garden kitchen waste, and because there were a few young worms still alive in it, so hopefully they will eat and eat and produce, and we'll get some more worm castings in the soil, and then the cycle continues. To take out the soil, put it somewhere else, and keep on adding and adding. So we'll have this particular container for worm bin. Alright, so I'm going to encourage you to start a garden one container at a time. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff in containers, and if we can grow, you can also grow in containers. Alright, just be encouraged for more videos, and thank you for the support that you have given us throughout the year, and want to wish you a happy new year when it comes. And if you haven't started a garden, start one now, because the food prices are getting higher and higher every single week. Every single day. And for those who have supported us, we want to thank you for your support. Continue to support us. Leave the comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask the questions. And if you're watching and you have not subscribed, please do so. We'll very much like the support. And we'll see you in a couple days when we're back. Alright, so take care everyone. Enjoy your new year and God's blessings on you. Bye bye.